What's up, everybody? It's Carolina Calvin. Um, we y'all know I play video games. Um, what I never talked about was type of genres I like, or in this particular case, used to like, and that genre is the fighting game genre. Now, not being a super hardcore fan of fighting games, I could say I played them more back then than I do now. There's a couple fighting games I do play. Um, I wanted to show. Um, I'm not gonna. I guess I'll give five. Top five fighting game franchise that I won't revive. Now I will do another genre. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do another video, um, talking about some of the other games because that list is a lot. Will be there's a lot more games on that list. But right now I just wanted to do fighting games because you know I actually just got finished looking up some fighting games, and I saw some of the games that I used to play, I used to enjoy back then. Um, and that's five fighting games that I want revived or that I would like to play again. Obviously a newer version because I can go easily go back and play some of the older stuff, but like a newer version. And you know, in no particular order. I guess I'll just make the order right now. Number five, Samurai Showdown. If you don't know, this is one of the earlier games. Where you got you got a character that's fighting with weapons, similar to Soul Calibur, but it's not in like the 3D aspect like that. It's obviously a 2D game. It came out for Super Nintendo. I played the arcade version, Neo Geo. It was also on the Wii, the eShop for the Wii, where you can get the Super Nintendo version. And I really enjoyed this game. Um, had a lot of fun with it. I still actually do have it on it on an emulator for PC, so I still go back and play it every now and then. I haven't played it lately, but it just after looking at this list, it really because the list I was looking at, this game was on it, and I was like, oh man, yeah, there's a game I would like to play, especially it's not that many fighting games being released. Um, I'm glad to see certain games obviously get remade. I remember MK9 when that came out. We had got you look before that. Yeah, got shitty game after shitty game. MK9 went back to the roots um, of how Mortal Kombat used to be, and it turned out great. Um, Same with Killer Instinct. But it's been how long? 15 years. It's good that see we got you know a newer game. It's only on the Xbox One, but I have played it. The game is fun, albeit it's obviously missing features that they're gonna add later, such as characters and stuff like that. I think characters is the biggest thing. It's only 6 characters day one. There is supposed to be a character for Killings when it comes out. Um, but Samurai Showdown was definitely a fun game. One of the few games, one of the first games where you actually use weapons. I'm pretty sure there's some games that came before. It's definitely one of the more popular ones of that, particular brand, weapon fighting. So really want to see that. It's a big chance that won't happen. You know how these things go. They don't. Companies only like to make multiplayer. I mean, shooting games, fighting games. I think it's just and as popular as it is with Evo and all these tournaments, you'd think more would come out. Um, Number four, I'm gonna go with Bloody Roar. The Bloody Roar on the GameCube, it did start earlier than that on PlayStation. But the one I enjoyed the most was the one on GameCube. I actually haven't played it in quite some time, and I've been hearing rumors about PlayStation. And obviously, these are rumors. I don't believe any of it, but until I actually see some proof. But the rumors were that PlayStation was gonna buy, well, the PlayStation was gonna, you know, come out with a sequel. I don't know. I don't believe it until I see it. But that is another game that I really enjoyed. If you're a fan of Tekken, fan of Soul Calibur, you'll definitely enjoy this game. It plays similar like that, but obviously you can transform into you know you got different creatures. You got guys that can change into well the GameCube version is the one I remember the most. And you got a guy who can change into a werewolf. You even got a guy who can change to a penguin. You got a girl who can change to a cat. Things like that. Definitely a game I enjoyed. Um, would love to see a remake of that game come out next gen with next gen graphics. We see how Killer Instinct looks. It looks fucking amazing. So it would be nice to see a remake of a game like that. That was number 4. Number 3, I will have to go with Rival Schools, and it's kind of a wacky game. You know, it's a game that I played on Dreamcast. Um, Very fun game. You had people that play. It's kind of weird because it was like a 3-on-3. Um, you had guys who fought with baseball bat, swimmers, tennis, volleyball, all types of shit like that. Um, but it was a surprisingly fun yet weird game. But it was definitely a game that you say, well, this is what made this console great, and that is what made the Dreamcast a great console. There are a couple of these games that are on the Dreamcast that made the Dreamcast during that time. You know, to me, Dreamcast is definitely one of the most underrated systems ever. Um, all the things that went on with Sega, obviously they couldn't recover from the what happened in the 90s. But the Dreamcast, don't let anyone tell you different. The Dreamcast had games, and when we're talking about the console, the first thing that should be talked about is the games. What games are on it? You know, what games are AAA titles? And Rival Schools is definitely one of those. Um, if you haven't played it, I would say you can get a Dreamcast emulator. I would say definitely try that out. Well, if you do have a Dreamcast, if you can somehow find that game, I'd say definitely try that game out. Look up videos. Game, as I said, wacky, but it's a fun game. Um, Number 2, I would have to go with Capcom versus SNK. Just a series. Yeah, Capcom versus SNK 1 and 2. Um, Actually, for this game, I doubt we'll get a 3 because we all know who makes this game. Same with Rival Schools. We know who makes this game. Yeah. um, this this game was definitely one of the better in terms of versus series that Capcom was doing. You had of course you got the Marvel versus Capcom. Even look at now, you got Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Of course you got the Capcom SNK. You got Marvel versus Capcom. This is definitely one of the least talked about in the versus series because a lot of people don't know most of the SNK characters. Obviously hardcore fighting games fans do. But definitely, I like this game. I do have it on the PlayStation 3, but it's the PlayStation 2 port. I would like, and they don't even come out with a newer version. This is one of the games I would really like to play. Come out with an HD version that has the first 2 games. Obviously, in HD and online play. It would sell. You saw how Street Fighter Third Strike did. You saw how Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did. You saw how Marvel versus Capcom Origins, which came with the Marvel one of the first Marvel fighting games, and it also came with Marvel Clash of Heroes, and it also came with Marvel vs. Capcom 1. You saw how those games did when they re-released them in the HD format. I think they should do that with they could do it. They could do it with some of the other games that haven't gotten releases. I mean, instead, if they don't want to come out with a new release, because I know Capcom is struggling with money, but if they want to get some more money, make HD remakes of these games. You saw how some of your other remakes did with online play. I think this is one of those games that should have it. Definitely a fun game. Capcom vs. SNK. If you have a PlayStation 3, I say get the PS2 version. Still fun. Albeit, is using older graphics, obviously from um, back in back in the late '90s, early 2000s. But it's definitely a game worth playing. Um, and number one, last but not least, Power Stone. Um, Power Stone is 4-player game. It's another one of those wacky games where you got all types of items and stuff. You collect 3 crystals. This is what you're pretty much fighting for the whole time. Obviously, each person has a health bar. You have dynamically changing stages, so especially in Power Stone 2, you have dynamically changing stages. The stages were hazards, and you're fighting for now, all while this is going on, you're fighting for 3 crystals. You get 3 crystals, and your character transforms into a unique transformation for that character. You can do special moves and pretty much wreck your opponent. Outside of a game like Smash Bros. Obviously this game is completely different from Smash Brothers. Although you'll say, well, yeah, Smash Bros. Is a 4-player game. It plays completely different from Smash Brothers. Yet again, another great game. This game was made by Capcom. Capcom Capcom is sitting on a lot of games. Out of these games, Capcom is sitting on Power Stone, Rival Schools, Capcom versus SNK, and let me see. Well, they are sitting on 3 of these titles that I want to play. Now, I despise Capcom, but these games, if they've made either a true sequel or an HD remake with online play, I get it. Because, those are games I really enjoyed, and that's pretty much what turned me off in fighting games. There's just not a lot of fighting games. Played a little Injustice, played Killing Instinct, obviously on Xbox One. Like MK9, but that's over and done with. It's not something that I'm gonna go back and play, but I do think it's a great game. But these games, such as Power Stone, which is one of my favorite fighting games ever, it's up there with especially in terms just overall. It is like a party game as well, where you can play with other friends. So if you don't know what these games are, I would say check them out. Especially if you're a younger fan of video games, I would say check those games out. Fun as hell. Really enjoyed them. And of course, comment down below of you can give me 1 or 2 fighting games that you want to see come back. That's pretty much all I want to say. Comment down below what fighting games you want to see revitalized, or as either a sequel or brought back as an HD remake with online play. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video.